The other day, a client of mine was explaining how he was laid off. Hello champions, my name is Coach Ani. I work with your mind so that it works for you and you get results that you always wanted. In this video, I'm going to share 6 steps which if you follow, you can very confidently move through any layoffs in your life. A recent study says that 81% of layoff victims have shown at least one symptom of depression. Another research says that 60% of layoff victims finds it less likely to trust their next employer. For some of us, we have been very fortunate that it didn't happen to us, but for a lot of us who is watching this video, you would have gone through that situation in some time in your life, or you may be going through that situation now, or you may be assuming or presuming that in the near future there might be a situation in your organization where there might be layoffs and you do not know what to do in those situations. Now see, layoff is something that is not very unnatural. It has been happening for a very long time. If you are a business owner and you are spending 1 rupee and you are earning just about 1 rupee, then essentially you are going at a loss. When that happens, you definitely would want to reduce your cost. When you reduce your cost, the first thing that you're going to think about are the salaries that you pay to your employees. That is when you are going to look at which employees are giving you the ROI in terms of investment. And that's where this whole thing around performance benchmarking, performance management and all of that comes. But there are certain companies who have been existing there in the market and they have a certain value where they deal with underperformance proactively in such a way that they do not come into a situation where they have to lay off. And it is not only with performance, they also make sure their recruiting policy is so robust that they just do not over recruit. The moment you see the letter, the first thing that strikes your mind is, how am I going to survive without a steady source of income? Now let's understand that this feeling of trauma happens with any one of us, and it will happen with everyone. In fact, when you have been comfortable in a certain situation and one fine day that situation changes, you are going to be uncomfortable for some time. The question is how long you would allow an external situation to rule your life, and at what point you want to make a decision of taking control over your situation. First step is you want to recognize the trauma. Why is it a trauma? The moment you get a shock that your job is not going to be there from tomorrow, your mind starts reacting to that situation and the whole chemistry of your body changes. When the chemistry of your body changes, you release more hormones that are also known as stress hormones, for example cortisol. Now when these hormones are released, you are kind of hijacked by these hormones and you are not able to think in your usual way. When you cannot think in your usual way, you start thinking negative. You start feeling as if this is the end of the world. So the first step is to understand where this feeling is building up in your body. By that what I mean is, you would have noticed that when you are angry or when you are not in your best mood, there are stiffness around your body. Your neck may feel stiff, you may feel a heavy chest, or you may feel a knot in your stomach, or you can have a headache, or you may feel a heavy head. Whatever it is, take a deep breath and try to recognize where that trauma is building up. When you recognize where that trauma is building up, very slowly breathe into that area of your body. Breathe in and feel as if all the breath is directed and focused to that part of the body. Say in this case it is my chest that feels heavy. So I'll breathe into my chest and I let that tension release over the next 5 to 6 minutes. If you close your eyes, and slowly breathe into a part of your body and slowly release it, you will very automatically see that you have calmed down a lot. Now when you calm down, that is the best time to make decisions and take actions, because every time you are taking an action in a not so resourceful state, your actions will not get the right results. You would have seen that many times in your past. Now the next step is, after you have released the trauma, when you are calm, you think of your own skill set. Look at your career in the last 6 months to 12 months to the last 5 years and see what skills did you bring forward. Are they technical? Are they more soft skills like public speaking, like communicating, like are they more creative like designing or drawing or copywriting? What are your core skills that you brought forward? The next question you ask is, do you still want to do a similar job, or are your skill sets better suited for a different role altogether? For example, you might have been in a core development role. Are you a good developer, or are you more of a creative person? If you are more of a creative person, would you like to get into UX design, or would you like to get into some kind of architectural role? So, or are you a better leader, or do you want to manage operational work, or are you someone who has been always focused into risk and controls? If you are more focused into risk and controls, do you want to take up a risk role? So spend some time with you and take this moment as an opportunity. Instead of taking this moment as a very dull moment in your life, think of this moment as an opportunity to make a significant shift in your career. Looking at your strengths, it will allow you to recognize what values did you bring forward. For example, if you think of your strength as someone who has contributed to a project in terms of speed. So is speed a value? Is result a value for you? Now once you have listed down your achievements, your skills and your contributions, the next step is to quantify them. This happens with many of my talents, where they are able to tell me what they have achieved, but they are not able to tell me the so what. So a simple tip to quantify your benefits is by repeatedly asking this question: so what? I have integrated 2 systems. So what? That integration allowed a legacy system to go down or get decommissioned, and you are able to move to a new system. So what? The new system is able to handle much more transactions. So what? Much more transaction means much more revenue. So what? Much more revenue means much more profit. So what? That integration allowed the project to be completed over a certain point in time, that allowed the whole organization to realize the benefit of a new system, thus improving the revenue by so and so percentage, and that's the contribution that you have made. Now you got to somehow relate your contribution to the overall dollar value that is realized because of your contribution. Once you have done that, the next question that you are going to ask is, okay, now that I know my contribution, can I list all of them down in one single page? Yes, you heard me right. I come across multiple resumes where the resumes are more than 3 to 4 pages. Trust me, if I give you a resume for 4 pages, all that you are going to spend is 7 to 8 seconds on that resume, and you are going to get bored beyond the first page or the first half of the first page. All you got to do is look at your career, look at the last few years of your career, list down the top contributing projects, the most significant projects, the most significant contribution that you have done in this project, and quantify them in terms of dollar value. The next step is to write a VPL or a value proposition letter. The VPL or a value proposition letter is a letter which you are going to write to your prospective employer or a decision maker who is going to get influenced by the letter, because in that letter you would have listed down, summarized all your achievements thus far in your career. Once they know all your achievements and you are hitting some of their need, that is when they're going to make a decision to pick up the phone and call you and say, can you come here, let's have a discussion. Now once you have done that letter, the next step is to look at your own network, look at everyone that you have known so far, and go and tell them what is out there for sale. Now when I say that, what I mean is, see, a lot of people hesitate to ask for help because they think if they ask for help, they're not going to get it. The moment the word get comes to your mind, know that you are looking at it from a position of taking. You want to take an opportunity, you want to take a job, you want to take salary, you want to take security back home, you want to make it safe and secure for your family. But if the moment you want to take something, you are expecting something, and that is where you are not in a position of strength. By that, what I mean is, if you shift gears from taking to giving, now when you think of giving, you are going to look at all your values or your skills that you have, and you are going to say that what can I give to an organization. And that's where you are going to find many more people in your network. You will feel more confident, and you are going to be able to pitch yourself in a more confident and a very straightforward way. And this is what you are going to do. Now the next step is, you got to identify decision makers from your network. Decision makers mean people who can make recruitment decisions. These are all your CTOs, the MDs, the directors of the lot. You are going to speak, you are going to connect to them. When you connect with them, you are going to tell them, hello Mr. Rex, my name is so and so. I have been in this role in the last few years, and I have made significant contribution around these areas with XYZ skills. I have been following you and your company, and I assume that there is a need of such skills in your company. It would be great if you and I could spend few minutes chatting and see if both of us could help each other in some way or the other. You have automatically shifted yourself from a position of taking to a position of giving. When you are in a position of giving, you are much more confident, you are much more stable, you are much more steady, and you are in a winning position. Once you have identified those network, that is when you send out the VPL or the value proposition letter. Send it to as many decision makers as possible, to those or people who are recruiting in those particular roles. For you to know that, you got to do some research. I am sorry, I will not be able to cover research in this video. For that, I will create another video. But you got to research based on your skills, based on your needs, and you want to make sure that needs fit the needs of the organization where you are looking for a job. Now, once you have found that match, you're going to send out the letter. The last and the final step is to prepare for the interview. If you have followed this process all this while, you have already converted yourself into a position of giving. From a position of giving, when you sit for that interview, all that you are having in your mind is to add more value to the relationship that is at stake in that very moment in time. When you think of an interview as a relationship where you are adding value, the interview takes a very different route altogether. And this is where you are going to bring it all in terms of everything that you know, in terms of every skills that you have, and you are going to talk about those skills to that person. And you are going to tell stories about everything that you have overcome, all the challenges that you have overcome, all the blockers that you have solved, all kinds of results that you have achieved in your past career life. Now, if you have done all of this, I know that you are much more confident right now to make a significant difference in your life. If you have liked this video, please do hit the like button. And if you are a first timer, please do subscribe. Share this video in your WhatsApp group so that more and more people can be helped by this content. Thank you so much for stopping by.